Welcome to our first Forever Free, the Detroit Literacy Flags Project. Do you realize how many are here with us today? Look at all these flags. There's over 1,000 flags hung right now, and that's just the beginning. Got to tell you, we have some great people here tonight. You who are also passionate about reading and passionate about lifting our community up through that gift of reading.
And this project is such a creative way to inform our community, one, about illiteracy, second, about how to be involved by being a volunteer, by supporting the literacy organizations, and then more importantly, it lets people know who actually need to improve their reading. There are places across our community where they can get help.
We have an important message to bring to this community, and I hope this won't be the last of the activities that we have to support, highlight, and put literacy in the forefront in this city.
I mean, the inspiration for the project came from Tibetan prayer flags, which I lived in Asia before, and flapping in the breeze on a pass in the Himalayas, it can be quite inspiring. So we took some of the inspiration for the project from Tibetan prayer flags, but then we wanted to make them look like really Detroit.
Well, when the idea first came to do a street art project, I really latched onto it right away because my background is in art, and anything that brings art together with literacy excites me.
There were a lot of ideas, but we finally ended up with the idea that literacy would open up your mind, and so the book on the head became a symbol for that. We decided to use paper from old books and to print the logo over it with a screen printing process. But I really felt I wanted the written word to be a part of the flag. I like the layering of images over words, and maybe that gives it more deep meaning.
And the whole idea is that people could write their messages about why reading is important and why reading matters, and wishes for all Detroiters to be able to read and write well on these flags, and then, which are really just pages from books, from abandoned books, with a logo printed on them, and then we'd string them up along the rafters of Shed 2 at Eastern Market, and the breeze would take these good wishes, these wishes for literacy, and blow them out into the pervading space. So
I think Eastern Market was a perfect venue for this project. Not only because aesthetically it really looked fabulous with the flags against the wood of that shed, in the ceiling of that shed and the beams. It just visually, aesthetically was extremely just right.
I don't think there's any other, I'm sure there isn't a better place in town that we could have held this event than Eastern Market, because, we wanted to get the word out. We wanted as much publicity as possible. And so where better to stage an event like this than Eastern Market, where you have thousands of people.
It was exciting to see them blowing in the wind. One of the things that John kept bringing up was how the messages would blow in the wind out to Detroit. And that was definitely happening.
For me, being involved in connecting people and bringing them together is something that I really enjoy doing. We connected with pro-literacy. During the opening event, we had a visitor from the City Council.
As we know, 47% of our Detroiters are illiterate. But when we have events like this and we reach out to the public and we communicate the message of the importance of literacy, I think that'll change. I'm hoping that'll change. I know that will change.
Mary Jane Grace, who directs Neighborhood Artisans, was very, very interested in the project and offered to do the silk screening. Well, this is what we needed. This was the breakthrough, really. It was wonderful.
I have a functioning illiterate family member, and I guess Sister Sue touched my heart when she came in that day and asked if we could help. And I said, well, we're always asking. Now I think Neighborhood Artisans wanted to give back. So here we are, and I'm glad we could be a part of this. I'm very proud. I'm sure my whole staff is very proud because it's a beautiful thing, and we're here to help you, sister, whenever you need us. Thank you.
I think one of the major collaborations has been with Siena Literacy Center, which is our sister literacy center on the west side. And this has created an ongoing relationship with that literacy center. And we see ourselves as kindred spirits. So on Saturdays, we were down there, and our main goal really on Saturdays was to recruit tutors and students. And we just talked to many people, and we stopped them in their tracks and asked them if they saw the flags and encouraged them to look up and notice the flags. Some people weren't noticing them. So we did call them to their attention and then engage them in conversation. And I think engaging people in conversation about the project was one way that we did recruit some tutors.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, we were out there almost like salespeople, like sort of like hawking literacy in a way, and you know, everybody realizes its importance, but some people, you know, they come right to you. There's some people that it resonates with them right away, and you can see it in the way they stand or in the look.
How about we make this an annual event? How about if we use this experience this year and do it again next year?
Well, the best part of the whole experience for me was seeing the whole project come together, because we had worked so hard to put, you know, take care of so many details and put everything in place. And then when we finally got to Easter Market that night and hung up the flags, and we saw the flags and they looked beautiful.
What brings the greatest smile to my face is just knowing that we were part of a greater whole encouraging literacy in Detroit, and that it had to do with Detroit, and it's part of bringing back Detroit, really, because we all know that Detroit has a lot of very good things going on, and I think to think about us, the Dominican Literacy Center and the Siena Literacy Center, as being part of that process of bringing back Detroit brings great joy to me.
I thought the event was really beautiful. I was moved by many of the speeches, and there was dancing, and even though it was like, you know, a near typhoon outside, it couldn't dampen everyone's spirit. It was a beautiful event, and
you know, Detroit has a lot of gardening kind of things going on, where there are gardens being made all over Detroit. And I like to think of literacy as growing another kind of garden, where we plant the seeds and we help people grow.